You're listening to Nice-ish, a podcast about reality TV and your opinions, with your hosts, Cindy and Grace. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our bonus episode covering this season of Married to Medicine, season 11.
Yes.
We're super excited.
Yeah, I love this show.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it. You know, it was really hard. We kind of explained in our regular Monday podcast that we record the last part of our podcast on Sunday nights so that it's ready for Monday, so that all the shows that we've just watched we can cover. Mm-hmm. And we didn't want the podcast to come out later than a new episode.
Right.
And so it was just going to be too hard to include Married to Medicine when they don't start till 9 p.m. But it's our favorite show.
I know, and we didn't want to miss talking about it.
No, we didn't want to skip it.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, the best way to work this out is for the season, we're going to cover the episodes and release podcasts every Wednesday as a bonus episode of just Married to Medicine.
Yes.
So let's talk about the season 11 premiere of Married to Medicine. The episode opens with Simone and Cecil planning a party called Whitnik. And they named it after a combination of their last name, Whitmore, and the spring festival Freaknik that took place in Atlanta, Georgia in the 1980s and 90s for students at historically black colleges and universities in the Atlanta University Center. So we see this party in the second half of the episode, but at this point, there's one name noticeably absent from the guest list, which is Quad.
Ugh, I know, and I saw that first, and I was just like, you know, are we going to do this again this season? Because I hate when there's always, like, one person on the outs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I realize that some of the things that Quad does are self-inflicted. I understand.
Right.
But it's just like, ugh, it's not fun to watch.
No, and they all have faults. My God.
Yeah, I know.
They just keep going after her, and it's getting old.
I think so, too. It's like, I don't want to keep talking about Quad and her being the problem of everything.
Right. So we have a scene with Heavenly and Quad, and Heavenly said she was the only person to apologize to Quad after the reunion. Mm-hmm. And she said something I actually thought was kind of funny. She said, I apologize all the time and don't mean it. This time I do. You know, I got to say, after watching every season, and you and I are actually kind of re-binging seasons because we've only seen every season once.
Yeah.
Heavenly was my favorite back then, and she is still my favorite now. I just like her. I think she's messy and funny at the same time. I was wondering if you had a favorite on the franchise.
I don't know necessarily that I have one person that I like ride for. Mm-hmm. I know that I have a favorite couple. My favorite couple is Toya and Eugene. I love the two of them together. I think they're so funny, and I just think all of their scenes come off as very real and a real married couple.
So that's interesting. Toya's not necessarily your favorite individually, but as a couple, you love her. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I used to like Simone a lot, but when we've been going back and rewatching, and I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know if because I used to be like, she is one of my favorite people, like, on Bravo. Mm-hmm. And now I'm kind of going back, and I'm like, I don't know if that holds up anymore. I miss Lisa and Nicole desperately, though.
Oh, my God. Her and Darren. I mean, we're going to talk about bringing back Contessa.
I don't know. Yeah, why'd we pick her?
Why? When we could have had Lisa Nicole and her cheating-ass husband, Darren.
Who can't lie.
He can't
lie. Save his life.
No, he is the worst liar. I mean, we saw all the tells. Yeah. We knew every time he was lying. He would repeat the question over again. Oh, where were you, Darren?
Where was I?
Darren, what happened to your sunglasses?
Where are my sunglasses? What happened to him? Like, how are you not thinking about it in the car on the way home? How are you not getting your story straight? And obviously, I'm not even saying that the cheating is good. He's done it so many times. It's gross.
Yeah.
But could you be a little better at it, though?
Be prepared, man.
Yeah. The fact that he doesn't even... Okay, you know what? Now I'm going back in.
I know.
I need to stop.
Maybe we'll have a bonus episode just on Lisa, Nicole, and Darren.
Because I find them fascinating.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Okay, we got off subject there.
Yeah, I know. I need to reel it in.
Okay, but your favorite currently is just the couple. You don't have a favorite individual.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So Quad is still upset with Simone for bringing up this tragic incident that happened at her home in which I believe it was her niece drowned in her pool. And Simone brought it up at the reunion. And it was such an awful event. I remember watching the reunion and thinking, Simone, please don't use this incident to make a point.
Yeah.
And she wanted to just say what a great friend she's been to Quad and how she reached out. And I think at one point Quad's like, don't do this. Don't say it.
That literally broke my heart. Like, I don't tend to feel emotion a lot with Bravo shows.
I cry over everything.
Yeah,
and you cry
do.
over nothing.
But I remember seeing her, Quad, just look at her, like almost pleading to her.
Yes.
And it was just like...
And she's like, no, I'm going to make this point.
Yeah, and it was in such bad taste.
Well, you know what I got to say? I saw all that on social media, too. I saw everybody. I was one of those people. I don't tag Housewives or Bravo Labs or anything, so I didn't tag Simone. But I remember saying on social media, that was just horrible. Why did you do that? Why did you have to go there?
I know. I would agree.
So Heavenly thinks that Simone needs to apologize. And actually, so does Cecil. You know, Simone's husband.
Yeah.
He feels like Quad is owed an apology as well. And Simone says that she's upset, as she put it, that Quad bought into all the hype on social media about the way people didn't like how she was treating Quad, especially at the reunion. But in general, people didn't like the way that Simone treated Quad. And Quad made it worse by retweeting comments that people were saying. And she felt it was low. She thinks Quad went low.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess Simone is like, I thought we were good, and then apparently we're not good. But in something like this, though, it's just like, unless you get the okay, like you're looking at it and you're fine. Who was it on the episode? Was it Heavenly who I think said Quad's one of those people that you have to talk to her after because she says she's fine even though she's not?
Yeah.
That was definitely it.
She kind of needs time to process things.
Yeah.
You know? And she went up to Simone after the reunion and she said she hugged her and those sorts of things. But once you see it back and think about it, you know, you're allowed to change your mind. So I posted the question on Blue Sky, do you guys think Simone owes Quad an apology? And we got a few replies, but I'm only going to mention two. At Erica34.bluesky said, yep, she overstepped a clear line and she made Quad apologize over and over for so much less. Fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, it's like, listen, I get that you want Quad to be part of the group even when you're not filming, like you're saying that she doesn't reach out and things like that. But unfortunately, I don't know, I guess you don't have to. These shows do cause you to, you know, need a break from people.
Yeah.
You're filming all the time. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a cut off, but...
I mean, even your closest friend, you can go 2-3 weeks without seeing. You know, work and family and all that. It just happens. So, I mean, if you're good in every other way.
I mean, or it's fine that you're hurt. You can tell her that. But I just think they blew it way out of proportion last season.
Well, we got a second reply from at salvacam.bluesky that said, for bringing up the incident at the reunion, yes. Also, Quad needs to stop living in the comments section and altering her moves to pander to the audience. Her doing that made the cast over her antics and were ready to throw her out. And I had said, Simone is so stubborn sometimes. Just apologize. And they replied again with, I agree. I'm not a fan of Quad, but she was so out of line, meaning Simone, for bringing up the incident when Quad begged her not to.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it so hard about this is that you're literally having somebody beg you and you did it anyway. And it's just like, it just wasn't necessary.
And she did it just to make herself look like she was the good friend.
Which in turn really made you look like a terrible friend. So it really didn't land. And you just, created an even bigger issue with Quad.
I gotta say, I don't understand why it's so hard to apologize.
For something like this big, too, And
I am really a firm believer in a sincere apology goes a long way, at least for me, in getting one and in giving one. And if somebody is sincerely sorry, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And these women just can't seem to do it.
I know. It's hard because I know that Simone is stubborn. I know sometimes Quad doesn't always give one either, an apology. But I think usually if you're the first one to give an apology, then usually the other person is going to. I mean, that's usually. And then if they don't, then it's like, well, shit. I didn't get one.
There.
Yeah. But I think that Quad would have. I do if that's what Simone wanted. But I don't know.
So Cecil's talking to Simone and asks her why she can fight with Heavenly over and over and move on, but she can't do the same thing with Quad. And Simone says something to the effect that her and Heavenly can still hang out and have real time together, but everything with Quad is superficial and it's like a surface level friendship. But Cecil decides to take matters into his own hands and invites Quad to their Whitnik party without telling Simone. So would you be okay with that if the intentions were good? Or is it just like, no, you got to tell your spouse?
It's so hard because I like Cecil a lot and I actually get his point. And I think the intention really is, Simone, I'm actually doing this in your best interest. You are so stubborn and you won't apologize. We find out that Jackie did. In a little bit later in the episode. Heavenly has. And now everybody's fine but you. And I want you to be good with Quad too, because then you might become the person, the one person who's, iced out. We don't want that either. So I think that he's doing it really with the best intention. I mean, would I love it if I was his wife? Probably not.
No, I would agree.
But I get it, though. I get what Cecil was trying to do here.
And the one thing that we've learned on all of these Bravo shows is that you have to forgive and move on, or you have to at least forget and move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Start a new relationship with that person then. If you're not going to be besties or you're not going to trust them, then be cordial, but you have to interact and, it's really in your best interest, if it's not serious, to just move on. So before we talk about the Whitnik party, there's this really funny scene with Sweet Tea and Dr. Squeakers.
Dr. Squeakers. God. Craig.
So they're going over to Phaedra's home because Sweet Tea doesn't know how to swim. And Phaedra, who was apparently a swim instructor in college and a lifeguard. That was new.
I know. I go, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, she and her boys are going to try to teach Sweet Tea how to swim. The whole thing was cute, I thought.
It was cute, yeah.
I mean, Aiden in that pool.
I know.
Trying to help her float.
Yeah.
So Phaedra sits down and talks to Dr. G about the status of his relationship with Heavenly and Damon. And this comes up later at the Freaknik party. Dr. G said that Heavenly was going around telling people that Sweet Tea trapped him, knowing that she had infertility issues when he wanted a baby. And we know he wants a baby. He bugged Quad about it 24/7.
Yeah.
But this causes Sweet Tea to go public that Heavenly told her that Damon cheated on her. So what are your thoughts on this whole mess? Because it does come to a head at the party.
Right. I don't know that Heavenly would feel comfortable enough to tell her that.
Ever.
And maybe there was some conversation that was mentioned about cheating, and maybe Heavenly said something and Sweet Tea twisted whatever she said, because I just don't see a reality of where that happened.
No.
I really don't.
I don't either.
Because why would... I don't see Heavenly talking about Damon at all.
And she doesn't like Sweet Tea.
Right.
Why on earth would she confide something that personal to her?
Yeah, and just to her. Why would it not be Jackie?
Yeah.
So I don't know. The whole thing seems weird to me. I don't know, but...
So we get to the Whitnik party, and after all the women were there, a car pulls up with Dr. G and Sweet Tea, and she brought guests. Oh, God. She brought Contessa and Scott.
Contessa.
As Heavenly lovingly referred to her as Contessa.
Oh, God.
Yes. So, well, judging by the reaction of everybody, no one knew she was coming.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised by that. That it really did seem that nobody knew. Everybody, yeah.
Are you happy to see Contessa back, or?
Not really. She's no Lisa Nicole, like we've said before. And I didn't really love her that much when she was on either. So, and then towards the end, her and Scott were having problems too and all that. So I'm not thrilled to see them back.
I'm not quite sure why they decided to pick her.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
Honestly, I don't think Lisa Nicole would come back.
No.
I mean, I would sign that petition in a heartbeat. But I don't think she would.
No, I don't think so either. She would be smart not to.
Right. But I did not like Contessa a lot either. I didn't like her and Scott's relationship. I thought he was very... I thought he liked to gaslight her. Mm-hmm. And there were all these cheating allegations. I mean, remember at the one reunion where the guys were all talking to him because he had pictures of women on his phone and stuff, like
DMs and stuff, and would comment back.
Yeah, like, wow. Like, what are you doing, man?
I know, it's dumb. Yeah, I'm not thrilled that they're back, but it's just like, I feel like we could have picked somebody new.
So while Simone is giving her speech thanking everyone for coming to the party, Quad shows up.
Oh my God, Quad. God, you're killing me. Like, seriously.
With the timing?
Yes. Quad. Cecil gave you an opening. You're really not invited. Like, honestly. And you gotta show up, like, as she's giving her speech of all times.
I know. You can see Quad hanging out the window, hugging Heavenly, and in the background, Simone's on stage. Like, she's talking.
Oh, my God.
So she's not happy. Simone's not happy.
Yeah.
She feels like Jackie and Heavenly forgave Quad too quickly. I'm not really sure for what.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's like, just start a new season. That's how we're all watching it, too.
It's what we want.
Yeah, it's just start. Like, nobody wants to start off the season with you not inviting somebody already. Like, you're already having a problem. Like, at least, Even
Toya and Eugene are good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Eugene would ever trust her, but at least he's decent enough to be like, you know what? I'm not carrying this around.
I know, and they had some actual, like, real issues.
Yeah.
Big allegations, thrown around about them. So even if they're fine, I don't see why Simone can't be. I don't know.
So the episode ends with Sweet Tea going over to Damon to talk about her situation with Heavenly. Oof. And she tells him that Heavenly keeps saying nasty things about her, and she doesn't say that he cheated or is a bad guy. She said, I never said that. I only said what Heavenly told me. So Dr. G comes over and he's like, I really didn't appreciate getting the brunt for something about my wife. Mm-hmm. And I thought Damon made some really excellent points when he was talking to Dr. G. And he's like, first of all, I don't really blame your wife because your wife doesn't know me. So she can say those kinds of things and it doesn't hurt me. Mm-hmm. You do know me. We have a friendship. So you saying those things do.
Yes.
And also, he said, as a man, I'm not going to approach your wife. I'm going to come to you. And I thought, hallelujah, somebody gets it.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Damon. Thank you for understanding the concept of this show and what, honestly, he's not doing it because of us as viewers, but that's what we would like to see. At least that's what I want.
He's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's respectful. He is not going to approach a woman and yell at her or anything like that. So he's like, no, I'm going to go to you.
And I do agree with him, too. Like, I've known you. They've been, what season did Heavenly come on? What, season 2 or 3?
I think it was 2. Mm-hmm. But we saw her in season 1.
Right, that's true. So they actually did all know each other still, yeah. So, I mean, they've known each other for a very, very long time. And for them to be friends, they do seem, like, on this show specifically, too, they do focus on the men.
It's very couple-oriented.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. And so I would get where Damon would be like, dude, Squeakers, why are you telling me that you don't know if I've cheated on Heavenly?
I know. I just have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
I just like how he handles himself. And even when he's upset, he's so soft-spoken that I think he can get his point across well.
Yeah. Does Heavenly get her point across well?
She does not, but that's why they balance each other out. She says something like, get this bitch off me. I think. So Heavenly comes over and doesn't want Damon talking to Sweet Tea without her there.
Yeah.
And things start to go downhill immediately. Sweet Tea threatens a cease and desist if Heavenly says any more nasty things about her. And yeah, Heavenly says, somebody get this bitch off me. That's how it just disintegrated.
God.
In the sneak peek for next week, we see that Quad has a birthday party thrown by her boyfriend, who at this point we've only seen pictures on social media of, but wow.
Yeah. Good for you.
No, wow.
Yeah, good for you, Quad.
He's beautiful.
No. Wonder where she met him. Do we know?
What an upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know where she met him. We haven't gotten to that part yet. And she's not all that forthcoming about stuff like that. Mm-mm. But I gotta say, I'm impressed.
I know. Good for you, Quad. That's all. Yeah. You know what? She doesn't even need to make up with Simone. She's fine. You know what? She's got her new hot man. Let Simone be grumpy about it. That's fine. I'm good.
And then while all the women are at that party, the men all meet, and Dr. G's upset that Damon called him sensitive over the things that his wife, Heavenly, has said about him. So he's like, what, I'm upset and now I'm sensitive? I don't know.
I think it's funny when if you get called sensitive, you're like, I'm not sensitive. Like, well, I don't know.
Ooh, touchy.
You kind of sound a little sensitive.
I know, because Damon's like, it doesn't bother me. We're all different. Things hit us different ways. But Damon truly seems like the type of guy that lets this stuff just roll off of him. Yeah.
I would agree. Because Heavenly takes it on for both of them. I think that's why.
And she starts it for both of them, too.
I know.
But, so, looking forward to this season. It was a good opening episode. And
yeah, we really didn't see much of Toya or Jackie or really any of them.
No, we didn't. So,
although I will shout out Jackie though, because I did go see the Wicked movie this weekend, and I did notice that the woman who was playing Elphaba had the same glasses that Dr. Jackie wears literally like throughout the seasons, and I was like, okay, the costume designer must be a Married to Medicine fan, because that must be where he saw those glasses.
Thanks for listening to our bonus episode of Married to Medicine. You can follow us on Instagram, Threads, or Blue Sky at Niceish Podcast or at Love Cindy C. You can listen to Niceish wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Look for new episodes every Wednesday. Thank you for listening and have a Niceish day.